It's time for all your local high school football scores and highlights. It's Touchdown Friday Night with Kenny Hawkins and Kane O'Neill. Brought to you by McDonald's, Food City, Champion Chevrolet, Marsh Propane, Wild Wing Cafe, and Kingsport Concrete. It's Touchdown Friday Night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Touchdown Friday Night, one of the largest high school football shows in the state of Tennessee and Virginia. I'm Kenny Hawkins, along with my tag team partner, Kane O'Neill. Tonight, we got 15 games on tap, but before we get this party started, here's Kane with the Kingsport Concrete hard hit of the night.
Kane, this one had to hurt. Gate City Avenue, Dawson Krieger getting pulled down, and Tyler Thayer coming in out, nearly taking his head off. That is some big whiplash. That is a painful hit, but he got right back up, thankfully, after that one. Highlights from this one coming up later on. Kenny?
Thanks, Kane. We begin tonight with one of the biggest rivalries in the state. That usually takes place the last Friday of the season, but this year Science Hill and Dobyns-Bennett locked horns in week 3, and the Indians were trying to stop a 5-game losing streak to their neighboring rivals. A packed house at J. Fred Johnson tonight, and the hometown Indians led this game early on 14-0, but then, just like last year, that guy, Jalen Adams, took over. He keeps it on the option play here and goes in from 3 yards out. Toppers trail 14-13 after the missed extra point. Then with 32 seconds remaining in the first half, it was that guy again. Adams runs a quarterback draw to perfection, weaving his way through defenders on his way to a 66-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion gave the Toppers a 21-14 halftime lead. Third quarter, Science Hill goes for it on 4th and 2. Andre Butler takes it on the jet sweep, and he'll outrun the Indian defense to the pylon. Toppers led 28-14. Fourth quarter, watch Adams escape defenders as he scrambles to his left, finds Butler in the end zone for the icing on the cake. Hilltoppers win their 6th in a row over the Indians tonight, 35-14.
Well, I thought our kids did good. They had a great game plan and executed to perfection. The first quarter, I think they kept the ball for about 6 minutes, or over 6 minutes, and went and scored there on us. And it went up 14-0. But our kids maintained their composure, and we got some big plays, especially right there at the end of the half. We're just proud of our guys, for hanging in there, not panicking, and getting a big win.
So once again, Science Hill makes it 6 in a row. They beat Dobyns-Bennett by the final of 35-14. Meigs County all over Cumberland Gap tonight by the final of 42-6. Churchill tonight, the David Crockett Pioneers are in town to face the Volunteer Falcons. First possession of the game. Gerald Sensabaugh goes for it on 4th down. He must have learned that in Dallas, maybe in Jacksonville. And Cade Larkins hits John Cawley for the first down. A couple of plays later, it's Prince Cawley taking it in from 3 yards out, giving the Pioneers a 7-0 lead. Falcons' first play from scrimmage. They play hot potato on the snap. Pioneers defense falls on the loop. No, you got it. I got it. He just took it. Very next play, sophomore quarterback Larkins with a beautiful pass on the slant play. Extra point gives David Crockett a 14-0 lead. They would not look back as we go to the board. Crockett went on to win big tonight over Volunteer by the final of 55-6. It was Hardin Valley beating Heritage 44-26. To Burley Stadium, where Greenville played host to Union County in their conference opener. Green Devils with the first possession. Ty Youngblood. What's up, Youngblood? Gives a handoff through a big hole up the middle and inside, that's old school, inside Patriot territory for the first down. Next play, Cade Ballard will go up top. He'll hit Seth Crawford deep and in stride for the touchdown. It made it 7-0 Green Devils. More Greenville. First play after the fumble recovery. Crawford takes a pitch on the end around. He'll take it to the house for the touchdown. That made it 14-0. Greenville went on to win easily. Union County got their first win in like 20-something games a week ago, and their prize was Greenville. Greenville wins 62-7. It was Bearden all over Jefferson County by the final of 23-0. Over at the Patriot Pasture this evening, Sullivan East trailed Elizabethan by 15. That is not the way you want to start the game against Elizabethan, but they got on the board. Field goal sails through the upright. That would make it 15-3. Then it was the Cyclones' Corey Russell. Do we ever do any highlights without mentioning Russell?
I don't think he would allow us to do highlights without him in there.
And this is why. As he weaves his way through the East defense, outruns everyone to the end zone. Cyclones on top 21-3. Elizabethan then went to the air as they hit a wide open Ryan Wetzel across the middle, and then he's going to do the rest. slipping that, gets into the end zone. It was all Elizabethan tonight. They went on to win over Sullivan East by the final of 59-16. Sullivan North over Cosby 38-7. Kane?
Thanks, Kenny. The Daniel Boone Trailblazers were off last week, so they had plenty of time to prepare for their big Region 1 5A matchup tonight against Tennessee High. The Blazers entered the game at 1-0, while the Vikings rebounded from an opening season loss with a victory over Lee High. Boone up 28-3 at the half with a great crowd on hand this evening. Blazers with the ball to start the half. Charlie Cole with the handoff. He stiff arms one, barrels over two more, and gets the first down. Later in the drive, Mason Mauger handoff, and he gets a great blocking up front, and he crosses the goal line for the touchdown to make it 35-3. More Blazers and more Charlie Cole. This one might look familiar. Kenny breaks 3 tackles there. And somehow keeps his balance on this one.
That's a man.
And he's going down the near sideline and 55 yards for the touchdown. That might be a Play of the Week nominee coming up tomorrow. Boone went on to win this one tonight, 42-10.
Well, we dominated on the offensive line, definitely. Charlie Cole had a lot of big runs. Mason Munger, definitely. Noah Shelton, good runner. Throw the ball. He's a good quarterback. We're just a good, outstanding team.
We worked really hard, and now I have to give it to Tennessee High. They're a really good team, but we just pulled out the victory.
Yeah, you know, we really challenged our kids in the off week and our offensive line to really take control of the line of scrimmage. And on the defensive line, too, you know, we really didn't play well the first game defensively and really harped on that for the last 2 weeks. And I thought we played about as good as we can play defensively, especially in the line of scrimmage.
So again, a big win for Daniel Boone, 42-10. And it was Sullivan South taking down Granger tonight, 28-14. Happy Valley hosting Hampton this evening. Bulldogs down 35-0, trying to get on the board. Skylar Cole taking the handoff, gets hit, ball pops free. Hampton, though, will recover, but unable to turn that one into points. The Warriors, however, just kept on rolling. Braden Sams for Dylan McKeon down the near sideline, coming right into your living room for the catch. It's going to lead to this. Will Tittle going up the middle for the touchdown. Happy Valley winning this one tonight, 41-0. And it was West Green taking down Claiborne tonight, 21-6. The Unica Rangers hosting the Hancock County Indians in Stony Creek. First quarter, Seth Hipshire plowing into the end zone from a yard out. Indians up 6. They elect to go for 2. Logan Sellers taking the handoff and in for the 2-point conversion. Indians up 8-0. Unica trying to answer. John Ramsey faking the handoff, then going deep for Blake Isaacs. Not the prettiest ball, but it's going to get there for the long completion. It's going to lead to this. The pitch to Reed Taylor on the end around and hitting Isaacs in the end zone for the touchdown. Just wasn't enough tonight. Unica falling in a heartbreaker, 30-28. And it was Cherokee falling to Morristown West this evening, 39-6. Now that is 7 games down and still 8 more to go as we look back at action from Thursday night before making a run over the border to Southwest Virginia. But first, here's the Happy Valley Band to take us to break.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Good crowd on hand after a rainy Thursday. Johnson County up 7-0 early on Chucky Doak. Chucky Doak driving. Nick Jennings with the handoff. He takes it up the middle, but he puts it on the ground. Longhorns recover the fumble. Next drive, Longhorns' Nathan Arnold hits Shane Greer, who will make a few miss before being wrangled out of bounds for the first down, but the drive would stall. Later in the half, Black Knights' Peyton Fletcher with the end around squeezes through the hole. He'll get into the end zone for the touchdown to tie the game up at 7. Chucky Doak gave Johnson County all they wanted last night, but the Longhorns would go on to win by the final of 14-13. On to North Green, where the Huskies were hosting Unicoi County on homecoming. Unicoi leading 37-0 at the half when we got there. Blue Devils looking to add more. Shane Armstrong takes a handoff through a huge hole, plowing over defenders before being hit out of bounds deep inside Husky territory. Next play, Armstrong again up the middle into the end zone for the touchdown. That's going to make it 43-0. Unicoi County is going to improve to 2-1 after last night's game. They went on to win by the final of 43-0. Kane?
All right, Farragut hosting Morristown West last night. Admiral striking early and often in this one. Gavin Wilkinson connecting with Andrew Williams for 6. Wilkinson, just a sophomore, and off to a very strong start last night. Isaiah Gibbs adding to it on the ground. Gibbs coasting into the end zone here. It was 14-0 Farragut. Mo West would get on the board when Jaden Payne barrels his way in for 6. But Farragut moves to 3-0 with a 33-10 win last night. Now that is 10 games down and still 5 more to go, including the big game in Southwest Virginia involving Union and Richlands. But first, here are the John Battle cheerleaders to help take us to break.
One of the most talked about games in Southwest Virginia took place tonight at Bullock Park when Union hosted Richlands. The Blue Tornado played in the state championship game last season, while Union featured tight end James Mitchell, who narrowed his recruiting choices to Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Georgia, South Carolina, and Duke. And Richlands found out why. It was a defensive battle from the start. Union finally gets on the board with a short field goal by Justin Fallon near the end of the first quarter. Union led 3-0. Then quarterback Bailey Turner drops back to throw, but he gets picked off over the middle by Richlands' Taylor Horn. But Richlands couldn't get anything going offensively. Finally, as the Blue Tornado punts it away, James Mitchell, yeah, you remember that name I just talked about?
Here's why.
He gets loose. This is why everybody wants this kid. He's a tight end. I just talked about the 5 people who wanted him. He makes everybody miss. I wouldn't show it unless he was taking it to the house just like that for a touchdown. Union goes on to win over Richlands tonight. That final 16-7. It was Harlan, Kentucky, losing to Thomas Walker by the final 13-8. In Bristol tonight, it was the Trojans of John Battle taking on the Virginia High Bearcats, and things are going well for Battle early on as Caleb Goings comes up with an interception on the Bearcat screen play right here. The drive would then stall, and the Trojans had their field goal attempt blocked by Virginia High. Somebody got a big arm. Virginia High then starts moving the ball downfield behind Cole Buchanan. So he hits the receiver in the flat. He gets some great yards after the catch to move the Bearcats into striking distance. 2 plays later, Buchanan does it all on his own as he keeps it, scampers up the middle into the end zone for the score. As we go to the board, it looks like this. Virginia High wins 35-14. Honeck over Castlewood 14-8. Now let's head to Chehowee, hosting J.I. Burton tonight. This was all Warriors from the start. J.I. Burton quarterback Houston Thacker fakes the cameraman out. That would be Will Morris with a pump fake. Did I say his name? But he didn't trick the safety, Zach Kale, who comes over to snatch an interception from the receiver. Ensuing drive, Kale takes his turn on offense with the quarterback keeper, stiff arms the defender, takes it all the way to the end zone, but drops it at the goal line. Lucas Doss comes in to save the day, score a touchdown. He'll hear about that in practice Monday, 27-0. Then a bad snap on the extra point sends Craig Sanchez running, but he would get around the whole defense to convert as we go to the board. Chehowee went on to win tonight. That final, 36-0. It was Lee over 11 and 42-7. Kane?
All right, Gate City hosting Abingdon tonight. Blue Devils fans pumped up for this game, and they are certainly going to love this. Abingdon's Gabe Booth going deep down the far sideline, but finding a blue jersey into the arms of Peyton Pine for the INT. But the Blue Devils don't keep it very long. Kyron Maxwell taking this around the right side off the pitch, but he is stripped. Caleb Ferris diving on the loose ball. And it leads to this. Booth rolling left, hitting Sean Canada, and into the end zone from a few yards
Canada.
out. Falcons up 13-0. Knew that was coming. John Sally with one final Hail Mary attempt in the closing seconds of the half, but Lance Willis tips it and reels it in for the pick. Falcons led 13-0 at the break, and they started to soar in the second half. And again, there you go, Kenny, it's Canada finding a hole and getting into the end zone from 12 yards out. Abingdon defeating Gate City tonight, 28-7. That was beautiful. Ridgeview taking down Shelby Valley, 34-6. In Twin Springs tonight, the Titans hosting Holston. It was all Cavaliers early. Leo Azell calling his own number and plowing in from 2 yards out. Holston up 7-0 after 1. And adding to it in the second, Ethan Guerrero taking the handoff, breaks a tackle, breaking another, spinning in for the touchdown. Cavs up 14-0. And then Guerrero got to put both sides of the ball, getting it done on defense. The big sack on third down. Holston taking down Twin Springs 26-7. It was Patrick Henry taking down Rye Cove 49-24. Some other scores for you. Wise Central taking down Grundy 21-14. Fort Chiswell taking down George Wythe 14-7. Northwood falling to Marion 57-21. And it was Montcalm taking down Twin Valley 22-20. Now that will do it for our high school football coverage tonight. But if there's a score or highlight you missed, please log on to our website, WJHL.com, shortly after the show. We come back. Kenny wraps up the day in sports. Stay with us.